It's your summer. What the bird is barbecuing.
G'day you filthy jabronis, it is the Verd Incarnate back with you again. Yes, the glorious beard has been shaved. Unfortunately, I have a new job starting tomorrow and yeah, I'm gonna need to, be a little bit presentable for that. Luckily the hair will be a hat on, so I don't need to cut my hair, so that's great. But regardless, we have a match here for the PMC. I believe at this point of the season we are 3-2. Probably could have been 4-1 if we weren't retarded and brought Thunder Punch Blaziken, but you know what? It happens. It's fine. We're at 3-2. Must-win game, pretty much. Like, if we win our next couple, we're in a really strong spot. So obviously, winning this one is important. But we're up against Eric, or Heavymetal Pokemon, coach of the Colorado Mamoswine. He had a pretty scary team. Basically, what I brought to kind of deal with it. I got an Assault Vest Metagross. I got a Poisonium Z Blaziken, because nobody likes Tapu Fini. I can't remember the exact Hydreigon set. I believe it was just a it was either Scarfed or just mixed attacking. I got run-of-the-mill Scolipede as well. Like, Scolipede and Blaziken in this matchup just kind of fisted his team. Actually, no, my Scolipede was Baton Pass, because being able to Baton Pass and deal with Wheezing was really nice. I had AV Nidoqueen, so I could take hits and then like shut down Jolteon, as well as running the Super Fang so that I could halve that Wheezing's HP, because then like it just sets up Scolipede and Blaziken late game, because Wheezing's the only thing that can really wall those guys. And then I got a physically defensive Zapdos, because he had some good physical threats like Delmise and the Amber Palm, as you see there. But I'm not going to dilly-dally any further. Let's get into this. So I'm going to lead off with Metagross, because against the majority of his team, Metagross is a really, really solid matchup. I like it a lot in this situation, so I'm going to lead with X-Park, just because he doesn't have a lot of switch-ins for this thing either that he brought on his team, as he does lead with Aggron. Now, I was very tempted to go for the first turn Earthquake, but I decided to go for... I don't actually have Earthquake, that's why. I go for a Meteor Mash turn 1, basically because I expected him to want to go for Rocks and not attack me. And I wanted to break his Sturdy, because basically what I can do here is I can double... And for some reason he has Black Sludge. I wasn't too sure about that one, as to why he had Black Sludge. I think he genned a Pokemon wrong. I think it was meant to be leftovers. I was a little bit confused by that in case it was like some weird fling set. But I'm going to go into my Zapdos, because the Earthquake is very obvious on this turn. Obviously he wouldn't head smash into a Metagross. It makes absolutely no sense. And he decides to leave his Aggron in on the next turn, which is fantastic for me, because I do happen to be packing the Hidden Power Ground. We've clearly seen that he has Black Sludge, no Sugar Berry in sight, which means there's Hidden Power Ground. I actually think that potentially a Volt Switch could have knocked him out too, but I just go for the HP Ground to ensure that I get the knockout, and straight away his Rocker is gone. Now, what this also means is there's a lot of Pokemon on this team that I can quite freely defog on. Case in point, what he's about to do. Maybe Jolteon could have been a bit more aggressive, but he does go into the Amber Palm, which my Zapdos is designed to deal with. So he's going to go for the knockoff, which I don't really mind losing my lefties at this point. It's no big deal, and I know that I'm going to be able to live this just fine, as he does reveal to be Life Orb, but I'm like, that's cool, I can just go for my defog, and now Rocks are never going to be up on my side again. So that was pretty nice. That was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that situation and how it worked out. And I'm like, well, he can't really kill me with anything here unless he has like knockoff plus Last Resort, and that would be an interesting set. So he just goes for a return. I can eat that up because I am a Zapdos and I am a beast. I'm just going to go for the free roost here against his Amber Palm. Now on this turn, I was considering going for Volt Switch, because it seemed very obvious of him switching, but at the same time, like, roosting up to full health was also something that I was very much considering at this point. I also knew that Jolteon potentially could be a switch-in, so I decided to roost. Like, as much as Volt Switch was the best play, Jolteon coming in, shutting that down was not ideal, so roosting back up to full is a lot more important. Plus, Jolteon can't really do anything to my Nidoqueen, so I am just going to choose to go out to my Nidoqueen. Like, Chyna just doesn't care, man. Chyna's just never really cared too much about people. As he does try and Thunderbolt, obviously not going to affect me. I choose to go for Super Fang here, because I really don't expect him to switch, to leave in his Jolteon. I expect him to go out to Wheezing. He chooses to go out to his Amber Palm, which is very surprising. I didn't expect that, but I am able to fire off my Super Fang, and this is really nice because this is a Life Orb Amber Palm, so this is weakening it. turn by turn. I know I could live a hit, but I also don't want to get my item knocked off, so I'm just going to go back into Zapdos. I know he's probably going to go for a return, but or a fake out. At the same time, I don't want to see my Assault Vest get knocked off. It's not exactly ideal in this situation, as he actually reveals Power Up Punch, which is a really ballsy play, I guess, predicting Zapdos to come back in, but you know, each to their own. He made a decent play, but I do know that my Zapdos is easily bulky enough to take this on. And I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch. Yeah, I will be a little bit low on health, but I can still roost up against things like the Wheezing, so it's not too big of a deal. Zapdos does just tank that like a champion, and we are currently 6-4 up, so things are looking good for us right now. Can't really complain, not really doing anything wrong. At this point, I'm just like, I gotta take momentum into my favor, go into Metagross, because he literally has no switch in at this point to my Metagross. Everything is pretty much dead. He goes into Espeon, and I'm like, surely this is a mistake. Surely you didn't mean to go into Espeon on this turn. I'm gonna go for the Bullet Punch, just to anticipate potential screens, as that does do a clean half as he goes for a Calm Mind, and I'm like, okay, he might predict me to go for another Bullet Punch. He may go out to something else here. I don't know what he was kind of thinking at this point, but I'm going to go for a Pursuit because I really did expect him to switch here. At this point, you know that your Espeon is probably going to go down to this next Bullet Punch, so I go for the Pursuit in case he wanted to preserve it. I know I can live a +1 Shadow Ball, as he will go for the Shadow Ball, and as you can see, Assault Vest Metagross is just an absolute monster. We drink that hit, we do fire off that Pursuit, and because it is super effective, we are going to pick up that kill on Espeon. So 6-3 up, things are looking real nice here. As he does go back into Jolteon. At this point, I have no reason to keep Metagross in and sack it. It still could be really good for the Wheezing in the back because I do have Zen Headbutt. So I'm just going to play it safe and go out to my Nidoqueen again. Even if he goes to the HP Ice, you're going to see it does absolutely nothing to me. I can take it just fine. He chooses to go for Thunderbolt again, not predicting the ground type that I have on my team, which is, you know, his choice, I guess. He is going to go for the Hidden Power Ice. I am able to take that like a champion. That did a lot of damage though, and that is because he is Life Orb, and I'm like, that's okay. I'm just going to Super Fang and miss, because I really expected him to go to Wheezing, but I know I could live another HP Ice, so I'm like, you know what, go for another one. You won't. And he did, so I was like, okay, you did, and I'm able to eat that and knock out this Jolteon with the Earth Power, because it was kind of clear to me at that point he wasn't trying to switch, and I was like, well, fine, like, you could go out to Wheezing on that prediction, but at that point I could still just go for Super Fang. It wouldn't really change too much. And I'm able to knock out Jolteon, so 6-2 up. All that's left is Wheezing and this, the Anthrax, the Tapu Fini. As at this point I realize that I don't really need Nidoqueen anymore. I am just going to fire off a Sludge Wave because I know that I will probably outspeed a defensive Fini, which he probably has to be for this matchup, so I am able to get off my big old Sludge Wave on this thing and get off a ridiculous amount of damage for an Assault Vest Nidoqueen, as he is going to fire off a Surf and he is going to get a kill, so hooray. As Nidoqueen is going to die here to the Surf. Now, I definitely could have played these last few turns a bit better, but at the point, like, I was 5-2 up, and I knew basically the game was won, so it was more just me, like, just thinking, okay, how do I want to win? So I just went into Nakamura. I was like, well, Blaziken, like, rarely ever gets kills. He got a ton of kills in the last game, but they didn't count because reasons, and I am going to fire off my first Z move, I think, so far of the season, finally actually hitting one, and we are going to go for that beautiful Acidic Downpour, Acid Downpour, and it's a great animation. I love this a lot. Like, it's just, ugh, look at that. Ugh. Gross. Yummy. So yeah, that probably would have knocked out any kind of Fini set. Like, the plan was to SD up and then go for it, but each to their own. Fini drops, and all that is left is a Wheezing. At this point, like, I just need to play smart around the Wheezing. My basic plan for this Wheezing was to weaken it with Blaziken to the point where I knew that I could just knock it out with another one of my Mons. Blaziken was basically a sacrificial lamb because I knew he could just go for a Sludge Bomb or a Haze or something, but Sludge Bomb doesn't do too much. I probably could have gone for another SD on this turn, but I decided that if he tried to Pain Split or some kind of shenanigans, it was better just blitzing, just keeping him at a low range of health so he can't just Pain Split up. And basically, although Wheezing's able to take this hit, I do get a cheeky burn, which I didn't know I could get in Misty Terrain, but you know, each to their own. And what this just means is that he can knock me out with Sludge Bomb, which I don't mind. Like, at this point, I'm not really caring about my Pokemon getting MVP, I'm more just caring about actually winning games. And at this point, like, Wheezing's very low on health, and I can just kind of finish the game off. Now, I do take a bit of a risk on this turn, There were definitely a lot of safer plays that I could have made to win, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to finish this in style. Medusa is currently my leading kill mon, so I'm just going to drop a Draco, because it's a 9 in 10 chance of me just winning the game here, and luckily we do hit it. If he'd gone for Pain Split, it really didn't matter, because I was packing Roost and Taunt on this set, so eventually I was going to hit it, and he was clearly physically defensive, so he was going to drop regardless. So yeah, we end up wrapping this one up 4-0. Probably could have been a 6-0 if I played smarter, but you know, at the same time I wasn't trying to get a 6-0. I'm not trying to get those kind of results. I'm pretty content with I'm pretty content with a 4-0. It means that we go to 4-2, which is really nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Currently going quite strong. Next opponent is the Montreal Monfernos and Seabass or Blue Victini. Should be a pretty good game. We'll see how it goes. Honestly, guys, like this team has been functioning pretty well. Like just the general offense. I think that Eric, you know, brought a very interesting team to this matchup. Not really sure why he brought Aggron, Amber Pom, and Esper. Just a lot of ways that he played his Pokemon was very interesting for sure. But he is a very good guy. So go check out his channel. I rate him very highly. And yeah, so we go to 4-2. We're just going to keep on, I guess, cruising through this, hopefully make playoffs and see where things go. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching. Vert Incarnate.